Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here coming to you live from Menifee in California. I hope you're all having a super fantastic, sparkling Tune-Up Tuesday. Yes, today's the day we get to rock out to our favorite tunes. What are some of your favorite tunes you got to rock out to today? I put my 80s playlist on and just did the little high school shuffle around the RV, although as if it was sort of like, I am not interested. So how did you go with your mindset today of setting your goals and taking one small step towards your goals? Remember, you can't run a marathon unless you learn how to run. Well, you probably could. It would just take you a very, very long time. So unless you train for a marathon, you're not going to run one very successfully. So you have to start off small with things like we talked about this morning, with doing, 1 minute walk, 1 minute run, or whatever the trainers come up with these days. I don't know. I remember in school we had to go around the track. We had to walk for a minute. We did a lap of running, a lap of walking, a lap of running, a lap of walking, and it was a 400-meter track. So probably took us about a minute to get around that. Yeah, I do remember though that they did do this challenge that you had to do a certain number of laps within a certain amount of time. I think it was like 100 laps. And what they did is that they had this walking track that you had to do. It basically went around the soccer field, around the rugby field, and you just basically kept walking around that area of the playground over and over and over and over again. You do it during morning breaks, afternoon breaks, at lunchtime, before school, after school, whenever you wanted to do it. But it was a way for them to get. And then in the classroom, they had up this big. In the classrooms, they had up this big board, and it was school wide. They had this big board in the classrooms that had all the students' names on it. And you had to go in and say how many laps you had done, and you had to do it with somebody else. So there was always an accountability person there as well. And they had prizes for the first ones to get to 100 laps and all of this sort of thing. And it was more than a 400-meter track, because you're talking the length of a rugby field, which is 100 meters, just the length. Then you've got the width, which I have no idea what that is. And the soccer field, I think, is about the same distance as well. It was a big area that we were walking around. And I can't remember how many laps we had to do that equaled a kilometer. But the idea was to get people out, get them moving, give them goals to go for, and everything else. So it was a pretty cool challenge that we used to do in middle school. Loved that. But again, they started us small. They wanted us to do 100 laps. We did it 1 lap at a time. And you would see kids out there walking around at lunchtime. It was a great way to get kids motivated. And this is back in the 80s, so we didn't have all the electronic games, we didn't have the smartphones, the iPads, any of that. Basically the rule was, if it's not raining, you're outside. And even if it was raining, like if we were at home and it was raining and it was a hot day, we put our swimsuits on and go play outside. It didn't matter if we got wet at that point. Excuse me, just enjoyed some really cool tomato soup. Haven't had tomato soup in a long time. And yes, I did have a grilled cheese sandwich with it too. I was late for lunch again. So remember, get those big goals, break them down into small, easy to manage steps, because then the goal doesn't look that big. All we had to do was we worked out how many days we had to, they actually got us working out the math problem. You have to do 100 laps. It takes on average X number of minutes to do 1 lap. How many, and you've got X number of days, so how many laps a day do you need to do in order to finish the 100 laps? But not only that, you've then got to work out, okay, if I can do 10 laps a day and it takes me 5 minutes to go around a lap, then that's almost an hour, that's 50 minutes. So, how much time do I get a break? So break them down to small steps. If I do 2 laps when I get to school, because we used to cut through the high school, and then there was like a little, there was a gate, an open gate between the high school and the middle school, and there was just like this little bridge area that went over a creek. So you'd cut through the high school playing fields into there, and then I would go walk a couple of laps and then go to the classroom. So it was working that sort of stuff out. Then how many did you want to do on break, and how many did you want to do at lunchtime, and all that, in order to meet your daily goal of the number of laps you needed to do. Yes, you could walk them faster. Some people ran the laps instead of walking them, but it got us out, it got us having activity. And I mean, when I was growing up, you basically walked everywhere anyway when you were a kid. The only time you were in the car was if you were with your parents. But if you had to go to a mate's place, 9 times out of 10 you were walking, unless you had a bike, then you could cycle over there. So, yeah, we got a lot of physical activity as a kid. What happened to those days? Although I still like walking. In your business, did you look to see that it's the middle of the month? Where are your numbers at for this month? Are you on target to meet or exceed those numbers this month? If you're on target to exceed them, keep going. Don't slow up. Don't go, oh, I only have to do X number of dollars or close X number of sales before then. I can do that. Yeah, no, just keep going. And if you close more sales or you close more dollars, perfect. Keep going. Don't slow down. If you're a little behind, you need to speed up a little bit. And then, what tunes did you get to rock out to today? Like I said, I put my 80s playlist on. There was Living Like a Prayer was in there. There was some Wham in there. There was some U2. Oh, I can see them. Everybody wants to rule though. Oh, what was the name of that group? Two guys. Total gone. It's gone. There was some Wet, Wet, Wet in there. What else was there? There was just all sorts of songs, just all sorts of good songs, and some songs are actually from the 70s that are in there. I just put them in the playlist because I really like them. And I knew about them in the 80s. I didn't know they were from the 70s, so they went on my 80s playlist until I found out they're actually 70s songs, but they can stay on my 80s playlist because that's when I listen to them. Things like ABBA with Dancing Queen and Money, Money, Money and Fernando and all those good songs. So today was a very busy day. I did networking this morning. I got some networking done. I even met with potential clients, which was awesome. Those calls went really, really well. I'm just going to do a couple of follow-up things for them before they sign the dotted line. So they were really, really good calls. Got to meet some amazing people today on those. And I still have some sales training to go this afternoon, which is going to be amazing. Only because I know the instructor and he well over delivers when he gives information. It is just like, it's a delivery bomb. It's not a little trickle, it's a bomb. It's not even a fire hose, it's a bomb. So it's been a very busy day. I'm about to get my brain explode. So it's been a very productive day. Did some more looking for some freelance work, got some applications in for some freelance work. So that's going to be good as well. But yeah, it's been a hot day outside. Got to like 97, 98 outside today. Didn't hit triple digits like they predicted it would. So I was like, yes. But it was hot outside. Although I had to step outside earlier and come back in again, and it wasn't sweltering hot, which was good. It was definitely cooler than the 120 degrees I had in Indio, but it was still pretty warm out there. And I had the awning out to shade the thing because the sun's starting to come around onto that side of the RV, so we're keeping that part cool. And Zeffie's up in her window, and she tried some tomato soup today too, and she kind of liked that and went for the bowl. And I was like, I put a little bit on my finger to let her taste it to see how she'll react to it. And she licked my finger, and then she just leans forward and puts her nose in my bowl. I'm sort of like, we're not doing that. But she tried. I was sort of like, yeah, she's not shy. She's definitely not shy. But anyway, I hope you had a super fantastic sparkling Tuesday. I was trying to think. I totally forgot to get any marketing tips or genealogy tips. Or I did see a friend of mine posted this really cool tea towel that said, here's you. Here's your parents, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, your great-great-grandparents, and here's your great-aunts, your great-uncles, your cousins, your first cousins, second cousins, third cousins removed, and all of that sort of stuff on there. And I thought that is the best diagram I have seen on explaining cousins removed and everything else. So if I remember, I will go post it on my Facebook page because it's a really cool. Actually, I might go put it into Funky Family Tree Detectives. I'm going to go put it in there. So if you want to come join Funky Family Tree Detectives, this is the logo, Funky Family Tree Detective, with the thing. And then down the bottom here it says, we make digging around your family tree fun. And then you turn it around a little more, and here's Zeffie digging out the family tree, or digging under the family tree to see what secrets she can uncover. And somebody said, where's her head? And I said, it's in the hole. It took her less than 5 minutes to dig a hole big enough that she could bury her head in there. So when she digs like she runs fast. And she has a blast, and she will even lay on her side and dig sideways as well. We've seen her do that because she'll just get exhausted doing the normal dig, so she'll just lay on her side and just keep digging. Funniest thing to watch. But anyway, I hope you all have a super fantastic sparkling Tuesday. Enjoy the rest of your Tune Up Tuesday. If you haven't listened to any tunes yet or rocked out to any tunes, go rock out. Leave in the comments below your favorite tunes to rock out to. What are some that motivate you, some that calm you down, some that when you just feel like you have to move, you just get up and do. Do you have music playing while you work? What type of music do you have playing when you work? Do you have music playing when you're sitting and reading? What sort of music do you listen to throughout the day through your different activities? Leave them in the comments below. Would love to know, because I'm always looking for, I might find a new genre or something, or a new artist that I haven't heard of before. But anyway, have a super fantastic sparkling day. I'm going to go and get ready to get my mind exploded with information on sales, actually training on sales. So have a super fantastic sparkling evening. He konera.